Hello again, and let's have a look at the last bit of the CIA triad, availability. So it's the last bit, and it basically refers to the availability of our data and services. So basically, the system's access channels and authentication mechanisms must all be working properly for the information to be available whenever we need it to be. And it's today basically employees and customers, and we use desktop and laptop computers and more different mobile devices like phones and iPads and so on. So basically, any information or any services that we have should be available basically 24/7. So people can access the information anytime, anywhere. So the availability wants to guarantee that they are able to do so anytime, anywhere, 24/7. And it basically means accessibility, so that our data, applications, services, and so on, they are working exactly as they should when you or your customers need them. And in many cases we talk about uptime and downtime. And the uptime basically refers to the time when our service is online, when it's available, when people can access it, and so on. And then downtime basically means that it is not available or online. And any downtime basically means that the information or application is basically it's inaccurate or it's not accessible, so it's basically not working properly. And it can cause many types of problems, whether to our supply chain analyze or decision making or stuff like that. And it basically prevents immediate action from our customers or employees or business partners. So if you have a web shop and somebody wants to buy something from you, but if your service is not available, the customer cannot immediately buy something, and it might mean that they go and shop in another service. Another thing that relates to this is this thing called unplanned downtime. So basically, any system, be it Facebook or whatever, they usually suffer from this unplanned downtime, which basically the reason for that can be, for example, bad weather, other disasters. Maybe there's a power is out and our servers cannot run, or maybe there's somebody broke the network cable to our servers or something like that. Or then we can have a hardware or software failure. So maybe there's a bug in our system, or maybe the network card or some memory is not working in the computer anymore. Or there can be human errors. Maybe somebody accidentally switched off a server, or maybe somebody disconnected the cable from the computer or something like that. So something that happened unplanned. And the final bit here is the security violation. So maybe there's some attack on the availability of our service. But besides unplanned downtime, most of the downtime is actually caused by planned interruptions. So we have a daily or weekly backup system going on. So during that time the system might be down. Maybe we are upgrading into a better computer to be able to serve more and more users. Maybe we improve our network connection or change the company, the network into some other provider. Maybe we are tuning the performance of our system, or maybe there's some local updates going on. But anyway, the point is that it's a planned thing, and luckily most of these downtime issues are actually caused these planned things. But the main thing to realize is that whenever our system or service is down, it adds no value to our business. And in fact, we're actually losing value or losing money. So there's a study that showed that each hour of downtime would cost between $51,000 to $1 million. so each hour. So you can imagine if you are losing 10 hours a month, so depending on the size of your business, you're actually losing big amounts of money. So there's some systems on how we can, or some mechanisms and ways on how to increase availability. So for example, we can use backup or mirror servers. If you only have one server and there's some problem with that, it might mean that the system is down, the service is down. But if we have a backup or mirror server, even if the main server is down, the service could still be used using the other servers. Or in our local system, we might have multiple hard drives or something called RAID disks. So basically we have a hard drive that has, for example, 2 disks, and they kind of copy each other, so they are the copies of each other. So even if one disk is broken, the other one should work, and we can just change the broken disk, and there shouldn't be any downtime for our service. We can use clusters of computers, so we might have basically many computers, so even if one is down, the whole system should still be operable at least to some level. Or we might use decentralization so that not all of our data is in one place. Maybe we have new servers for each country, and the servers reside somewhere in the country. So even if Finnish servers are down, people in other countries might be able to use the system, and so on. And today, more and more businesses use these data centers. So they are big industry halls that are full of computers with proper cooling, backup, electricity, and stuff like that. For example, Google and Facebook have big data centers in Finland and in Sweden. And in general, we can use high quality components instead of buying the cheapest possible stuff. So in addition, we have some possible attacks on availability. The first one is this denial of service. So basically somebody uses, for example, a botnet to attack your service and try to basically run it down. So maybe there's an angry customer or even an angry ex-employer who wants to revenge something. So they are hiring a botnet to attack your service and run it down. Or maybe there's some improperly configured PCs in your system, so some part of it is not configured properly, and that is causing some problems. And of course, there can be viruses and worms and stuff like that that might have compromised your system, and they are hampering the availability. So basically the denial of service is this attempt to make a machine or network or service or system unavailable to its intended users. So for example, if enough traffic is coming to your server, the server can crash. And a typical way how they do it is that they use this denial of service attack. So they purposefully get enough computers to attack your system so that the network connection goes down. And there's been estimated that last year there were 28 denial of service attacks each hour, and they are probably getting more and more common. And if somebody doesn't have an essay yet, you might check the website. It has a nice world map, and it displays all the denial of service attacks happening at this very moment. So please check the website. And the last thing to realize is that when we talk about the CIA triad, there's usually a trade-off between the different components of the triad. For example, if you unblock the network connection to your server, you basically guarantee great confidentiality because nobody can access the service or the data, but basically you are then making it unavailable. So you'll have great confidentiality but no availability. And on the other hand, if you have a server with a high access, so that anybody can access all the data and all the stuff, it would be greatly available, but you would compromise either or both confidentiality and integrity. And please, for more information about the availability, check the website. Thanks.